Skyrim showcases numerous instances of player decisions that are not only gratifying and fitting, but also possess a significant impact on the game world. These choices can burden the Dragonborn's conscience, making it valuable to possess knowledge about the potential outcomes before making a commitment. In the northern regions of Whiterun Hold's expansive plains, players may come across Cicero, one of the most recognizable members of the Dark Brotherhood, near a broken-down cart. Cicero will request assistance from the player, initiating a brief quest if engaged in multiple conversations. Known as Delayed Burial, this quest presents the Dragonborn with a choice. They can aid Cicero by persuading a man named Vantus from Loria's farm to assist in fixing the cart, or they can report Cicero to the guards due to suspicions about his strange behavior. Should the player successfully convince Vantus to repair the cart, the jester will express gratitude and offer monetary compensation during their next encounter. However, if the player chooses to report Cicero as advised by Vantus, tragic consequences will unfold as the farmer and his family meet untimely deaths shortly thereafter. A serial killer is on the loose in Windhelm, and it is up to the Dragonborn to stop the killings. After attaining a lot of evidence, much of it points to Woundfirth the Unliving, court wizard of Ulfric Stormcloak. The player can accuse him, leading to his arrest. However, Woundfirth is not the culprit. 3 days after the mage's imprisonment, another murder will happen. Talking with Woundfirth in prison reveals that the elderly mage was investigating the killings and can predict the next murder. Following his advice, the player can apprehend the real serial killer. Though, if the Dragonborn did not accuse Woundfirth and instead spoke with him, this conclusion would have led to the killer being caught sooner, preventing another death. Upon entering the entrance of Whiterun, players may encounter 2 Alik'r warriors engaged in a conversation about their intentions within the city. If approached, they will disclose their pursuit of a Redguard woman who is believed to be hiding nearby. This woman, named Sadia, will make a proposal to the Dragonborn, requesting that they refuse to hand her over to the warriors. Sadia will present the player with a choice: to eliminate the warriors through direct confrontation, with a generous payment as a reward, or to divulge Sadia's location to the scimitar-wielding men in exchange for monetary compensation. Regardless of the chosen path, one side will meet their demise while the other fulfills their end of the bargain by paying the player. Upon completing the quest, the Forsworn Conspiracy, the guards of Markarth can falsely accuse the player and sentence them to imprisonment in Sidna Mine as a form of punishment. However, the Dragonborn, unwilling to accept a life of captivity, will explore ways to escape. During their escape attempt, the player will encounter Madanach, the leader of the Forsworn Rebellion. With Madanach as assistance, it is possible to successfully break free from the confines of the mine. Alternatively, the player has the option to eliminate Madanach by taking his life and retrieving a note from his body, which contains vital information on how to navigate the escape. Choosing this path will also reward the player with the Silverblood family ring. Alternatively, siding with Madanach and aligning with the Forsworn will grant the player the unique armor of the Old Gods. Whiterun boasts a remarkable feature, a colossal tree standing near the stairs that lead to Dragon's Reach. However, this once majestic tree, known as the Gildegleam, is now in a state of decline. Danica Purespring informs the player of its impending demise and seeks their aid in saving it. The situation becomes complex as the Gildegleam can only be healed with sap from its progenitor, the Eldergleam, and piercing the mystic tree's bark requires the unique weapon called Nettlebane. Once the player obtains Nettlebane from Orphan Rock, a location in Falkreath Hold, they must journey to the Eldergleam Sanctuary to acquire the sap. Upon reaching the sanctuary, they are faced with a choice: either cut a sample from the tree or be dissuaded from doing so by a pilgrim named Maurice. Maurice warns that harming the tree would be a transgression against Kynareth, the goddess of nature, and instead offers the player a sapling from the Eldergleam. If the player accepts this alternative, the Gildegleam can still be healed without encountering the wrath of the enraged Spriggans that emerge when the tree is cut. As a Daedric quest, a Daedra's best friend is quite the quirky adventure that includes a talking dog, a Daedric prince, and unique equipment. After adventuring about with Barbers, who is actually a portion of the Daedra Clavicus Vial, the player will be tasked with retrieving the Daedric artifact, the Rueful Axe. Clavicus Vial will request that the Dragonborn kill Barbers with the axe, which will return the dog to oblivion. The player can refuse to harm the chatty pup, which will forfeit the axe, but will grant them the mask of Clavicus Vial. After aiding young Aventus Artino in Windhelm with his request for an assassination, the player will find themselves waking up in an unfamiliar location the next time they sleep. As they regain consciousness, they will find themselves inside a wooden shack and will be addressed by Astrid, the leader of the Dark Brotherhood in Skyrim. Typically, players have the option to follow her instructions and join the esteemed Assassination Guild. However, this is not the only choice available. If the player feels sufficiently outraged by being kidnapped, they have the option to take immediate action by murdering Astrid on the spot. This choice initiates the quest, Destroy the Dark Brotherhood. Subsequently, the player will be prompted to meet with Commander Maro in Dragon Bridge, which sets them on a mission to eliminate all the assassins in the Dark Brotherhood's sanctuary. By pursuing this path, the player will forfeit the opportunity to acquire the unique items obtained through Dark Brotherhood quests. However, they will receive a substantial reward of 3,000 gold from Maro as compensation for their actions. The Dawnguard DLC introduces a plethora of new content to the game, providing players with the opportunity to acquire intriguing abilities and weapons. However, a crucial decision must be made, aligning with the Dawnguard or joining the vampires of Castle Volkihar. Choosing to join the Dawnguard grants the Dragonborn the ability to craft and wield the formidable crossbow, widely regarded as one of the most powerful ranged weapons in the game. Additionally, the player can craft special bolts for the crossbow, which can unleash elemental explosions upon striking enemies. This path emphasizes a hunter-like playstyle and offers unique advantages against various adversaries. Conversely, embracing the Vampire Lord gift bestowed by Lord Harkon presents an alternative path. Becoming a Vampire Lord endows the player with a range of distinctive traits and cool powers. As a Vampire Lord, the player gains access to unique abilities, such as transforming into a monstrous vampire form, utilizing blood magic, and commanding powerful minions. This path emphasizes a darker, more magical playstyle, and provides an array of vampiric powers to wield against enemies. The main conflict affecting Skyrim in regards to its civil status is the strife between the Imperials and the Stormcloaks. Much of the game involves picking a side and helping them defeat the other. If one chooses the Imperials, they can expect a more unified and equal Skyrim for all races. However, they will all be at the feet of the Altmer. Conversely, if one sides with Ulfric and his Stormcloaks, they can liberate the northmost province of Tamriel and make it a true place for Nords to thrive, although one where non-Nord races will likely suffer. In the later stages of the game, the leader of the Greybeards reveals that they once served as one of Alduin's lieutenants. Paarthurnax, despite his kindness towards the player, was responsible for committing horrendous crimes against humanity in the past. When the Blades learn of this information, they become determined to slay the dragon, disregarding his transformation and the assistance he provides to the Dragonborn. However, there is no tangible benefit to slaying Paarthurnax, as he no longer poses a threat to the world. The only consequence of killing him is the omission of his impactful speech during the epilogue. Thus, choosing to slay Paarthurnax is more of a senseless choice rather than a difficult one. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, as it really helps us grow. We upload videos like this regularly on the channel. Click that notification bell to stay updated on our latest videos and releases.